Tonight's installment of In a Nutshell is brought to you by Dockers North Restaurant and Lounge, where you'll enjoy fabulous food in a family-friendly atmosphere. Today we have the great good fortune of having with us in our studio the one and only Ronnie Rice.
Very well. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Hey, thanks for coming. We really appreciate it.
Let's go, baby. I get carried away when there's a camera.
I'm not done introducing you.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm ready.
Ronnie Rice is the great musician, singer, songwriter, former member of the New Colony Six.
No, I remember those days.
And the New Colony Six was one of the prominent garage bands to come out of Chicago in the 1960s. Ronnie authored some of the most popular songs that the New Colony Six, was it some of them or all of the most popular songs that they sang?
Well, actually, the ones, we had quite a list. The New Colony Six was actually the first, they were the first group that ever came out of Chicago, were the New Colony Six. And after that, followed by Crying Shame, Buckingham's, Ides of March, American Breed, Shadows of Night. And so that came after the Colony. They started, I think, in 1964, New Colony. I joined them in '67, and the bottom line is the experiences. I lucked out. I met them at Columbia College, and after I met them there, they said we're with a group called New Colony Six, and at the time nobody had really heard of them. I had records out when I was like 16 years old, and so that being said, they had kind of heard me on WLS radio, you know, with Dick Biondi. He was the guy who got me started to start with. Man, what a nice guy. So anyways, it turns out a year after they were established, I was at their first recording session, and it was like that one. There's no such thing. I just made that one up. But they did a song called
It's got some merit. It's got some merit.
Huh?
It has some merit.
It did it, that little thing, what I just did?
That's right.
Anyway, so I Confess was the first tune that they had out, and I was at the session, as I said, and a year later, after they were established, it became a #2 record in Chicago. And after it was established, they asked me if I would join the group, which was nice. It was a nice thing to be able to do.
Sure.
And as it turns out, we got lucky. And I got lucky because I was able to write a couple of the tunes that we did, or co-write it. Could be like, I think about 6 or 7 of the songs. And you know, the first one that we really got lucky with, at least nationally, was I Will Always Live Without You, even if I live without you. Please don't let that ever happen. I have too much love for you. You can sing along.
For you, baby, it's true. For you,
baby, I can't find the words to tell you just how much I really love you. If you feel the same way I do, you will get ready for love. I have
for you, for you.
The days we spent together with her, the nights.
The nights.
No, the lights is actually. Okay, we're yours and mine. It's true. I'll always love you. Always love you. So let us plan our future together. Love is here, it's getting stronger. Even if I live without you, I will always think. Here we go. About
It's true.
baby, if you
For you,
baby, for
All right, all right. Knuckles, man.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
That was nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hey, we actually got harmony at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
Very
Okay.
pretty, very pretty.
Yeah, so that was the kind of the first biggest tune we had, even though we did have a few before. You have I Confess, you had I Lie Awake. I wrote a song called Treat Her Groovy. That was it, forget it. That's about as long as it went on that song.
Okay.
What's up, Dottie?
All right.
Ask me anything.
You had a brilliant career in the NC6.
Got lucky.
And after the NC6.
Actually, nowadays it's almost more rewarding to hear your stuff or hear the old stuff on the station, on the oldie stations or, the satellite, because we don't take it for granted anymore. Like before, you have a tune out, you're 22 years old, they play one tune, they play another tune of yours, another tune of yours, you got another one, so you kind of almost expected it, but not anymore. So when things happen today, I think it humbles everybody as they get older.
That's sure.
And it's more exciting if you do it now and the audience reacts. Can't beat a crowd. The audience is the best.
I was hoping you'd play some tunes for us.
Well, we did one. Baby, is he looking after you? Show you the same love we knew. Baby, it's you I'm thinking of. In the morning when I wake up, in the evening, it's you that I dream of. Sometimes love hurts, sometimes love is unkind, and sometimes you might feel blue. But remember now, darling, if your words are real, this will never happen to you, baby.
Baby.
Yeah, there's things I'd like to say.
Things I'd like to say.
Never know our love, we would get married someday.
Cool.
Remember that one? I remember that like it were 50 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's the best part of being an entertainer. If you're fortunate enough to get lucky, and if the people are, they show their appreciation. For me, that's the whole deal. I mean, the audience is everything, and I've always said that. When I do what I do, which could be anything, Boney Maroney. If I do any other tunes other than my own, which is obviously the case, because I do the stuff. When I do my own stuff, I do the stuff I grew up with, the roots of rock and roll, the stuff that was from the 50s, 60s. I sprinkle in a couple of 70s things, but it's all hopefully identifiable enough so that the audience that fortunately I'm able to have, we have a party together. I take it seriously, but not that seriously. You go up there, you do what you can, and have a good time.
You have some fun, sure,
Have fun
absolutely.
with it. It's all fun.
Okay, now
Go ahead.
the new Colony 6 appeared on Mike Douglas' show in 1969.
That was exciting.
They appeared in huge stadiums before huge stadium crowds around the country. What would you say was the highlight of your career, or highlights if there were more than one?
Probably the food afterwards.
Really? Good food, eh?
And you get done, you get a nice dinner. Actually, the highlight I'd say was working with the Beach Boys. We had a great time because they were heroes for dying. I looked up, man, I had a lot of Beach Boy albums, and so to get lucky, to work with them was extremely exciting.
I bet.
We opened up for them, and then they asked us to join them on another tour afterwards.
Nice.
So that was really cool, yeah. But Mike Douglas show, that was dynamite. That was so exciting. You're on a show, and we were late to the show, by the way. The director was a little concerned because our equipment wasn't there yet. So he was going, "Where's the equipment?" Of course, it wasn't Jewish, but he'd say that anyway. "Where's the equipment?" As it turns out, it finally showed up, and great time. I love doing it, man. But we learned a lesson from that. And the lesson we learned was when you do a television program, it's kind of nice to do it with a tape and back. We did a TV show called, I think it was Scene 70. It came out of San Antonio. And we did it. What it was a show that would, new rock and roll stars were just coming up, okay? So these were all the guys who were starting to make it nationally and starting to happen. As a matter of fact, the Chambers Brothers were on a week before we were on the show. It was a live audience. It was great doing it. But when I saw it, so I did I Will Always Think About You. We did it live. And I noticed one of the guys, the co-writer, Les Como, was with me on I Will Always. We go, I will always think about you, for you. I do the for you. You go, for you. I go, holy Meck, I ain't going back to Chicago after this. And Lloyd Thaxter was the co-host. It was the Jerry Lewis, on ABC, it was Jerry Lewis Summer Replacement Show. So when I saw it in the truck afterwards, they played back what they just recorded. It was it's embarrassing. For you? For you? It was just so bad. And I said, we can't go back. All these guys we know, the Bucks and all these groups. But after that, I said, this is it. Well, if we do another show, which happened again to be the Mike Douglas show, I said, bring a tape. So we brought a tape. And the tape was, of course, the background. I sang lead on it live, but the background was all recorded. So it worked out great. There wasn't too many mess ups. That it was perfect.
Well, I saw that recording. It was
They
beautiful.
have it on YouTube.
Yeah.
1969 on YouTube.
Really nice.
So, yeah, Mike Douglas show. Yeah, that came out pretty good.
Very good. That was
Did
a good
you see
idea.
the co-host on that show? Mike Douglas co-host,
Yeah,
you know who he was?
I forget what his name was
I'll
offhand.
give you a hint. Big John.
Yeah, he was a balladeer. I can't think of his name. Though.
Mind, you could see him arrive at 666. What do you think we're talking about? Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean, yes.
He made the
yes.
pork sausages. Yeah, go ahead. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm cutting you off.
That's okay. Now, back in the day, there were a lot of really talented Chicago rock and roll groups. We've mentioned many of them: Jimmy Sounds and the Shadows, Tim Peterick and the Ides, Crying Shames, Bucks, and others. Now, were you friends with those guys at that time? Were
Good
you guys?
question.
I know you were all competing against each
That's
other
it.
for public attention, but when you weren't in front of the public eye,
Yeah.
did you get along with each other?
I think we did. I mean, I think working with the American Breed, working with the different groups, we had fun meeting each other, like you say, on the gig. I don't think there was any animosity or any kind of jealousy until, I'm laying in bed one night and I'm hearing kind of a drag. I hear that and I'm going, that won't do that well. Number one in the United States. I'm going, wow, they popped right out. Oh, that's it. I don't know if you're aware of this. They weren't even under contract at the time.
You're kidding.
Are you aware of that?
No.
USA Records, an independent label, they became number one in the United States, and they weren't even signed with anybody at the time. So they became the group of 1967 all around the country in different parts of the world. The Buckhams were the biggest at the time. And when I heard it, prior to that, I would hear I Go Crazy by the Bucks. There's just some local stuff like commercials, from car dealerships. And I go, nah, it ain't good. I Go Crazy, okay, local group doing, James Brown. And all of a sudden, number one, Kind of a Drag. I'm going, Lordy. So, not that they didn't deserve it. They're great guys. Believe all the guys out of Chicago, and I'm going to say this for a fact, are nice people. Really. Except for Paul McCartney. No, he never came from him, kid. But
I thought it was a South Side kid.
did you really?
Yeah.
You thought he was? So anyway, seriously, all the guys I think that I've met from all the bands that came out of here, they're all good people. They're really good people. Chicago, they're very down-to-earth type of guys. And, you've met a few, I'm sure you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Someone else?
All
Give
right.
me more, darling. Give me something.
How did you preserve your voice? Is beautiful. How did you preserve
you're
it?
nice, thank you.
Do you treat it with something, or do you see a doctor on a regular basis for it, or
I think it's a matter of just
scales every day?
reading
or-
and write. I took lessons singing. It's hard to tell when you hear me do. But anyway, when I do the songs, I took voice lessons for about 10 minutes. Actually, a little longer than that. And for about a year, because I felt it's necessary. And
When
so
was
I
that?
did.
When did you do that?
Oh, man. About 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, so really, they kind of helps you breathe. You know, you breathe properly from the diaphragm. Can you say that on
Sure, that's okay.
my way? You know, you do a fast stomach, I hear more like, I'll vow it, my breathe.
Yeah. We saw Chuck Berry
Yeah, what
in the
about-
Blueberry Hill Lounge in St.
Oh,
Louis
in
before he
St.
passed
Louis,
away.
Yeah, yeah, he had his own place.
About 2 years before he passed away, Delores and I went down there, and that place was amazing. I
Yeah?
mean, people from all over the world came to see this guy perform.
Chuck Berry, you're talking about Chuck Berry?
Chuck Berry, yeah.
He was the man. I mean, the cat. I think everybody that's a rock and roll guy at all is influenced by Chuck Berry. There's no question about it. You know, actually, out of all the songs Chuck Berry had, you know, the first one was had a #1 hit for him.
Really?
That was his first single. But the #1 hit for him was When I Was a Little Bitty Boy.
A ding-a-ling.
Yeah, but I'm saying, dang, anyway, you get the drift. So yeah, this is what I like about doing this stuff. It just, for me, it's party land. You know, it's really not. You know, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
That's fun.
Thank you.
Crazy, baby. Anyway. Oh yeah, they're still around.
We're
I
gonna.
met Elvis.
He's supposed to be on our
Elvis,
show. He's not, I think he is around. We interviewed him. He was on our show.
Elvis Presley.
That's right. Just a couple of years ago.
Really? How was
yeah,
he?
he was looking good.
Oh, did he?
Touring, yeah. What we did was we took an interview that he made in 1958 or something.
Yeah.
This is Delores' brainchild, and we substituted our own answers for the questions that he, you know, our own
funny.
questions rather for the answers that he gave. It was hilarious. It really was.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I'll tell you, boy, he affected so many people, man. I'm telling you. I loved it. See, this is what I'm talking about. The things that I grew up with, I can identify. You know, hopefully some other people do. Ricky Nelson, I was a big Ricky Nelson fan. Elvis fan, Little Richard for sure. You know, I did a show. The thing I did on a 10th anniversary show for W at the time, was it WGMK? It was actually FM. So cool meeting him. Who else was on that show was also Lou Christie. And Mom's Maybelline. No, she wasn't on the show. She made that up. But anyway.
How about another one of your songs?
When I saw you yesterday, it started all again. The hurt that I had left behind is caught up once again. Everyone's in love, but love can bring you down. If no one wants to love, you have to give. Love means more than life to me. I love to have you back. Stop and laugh at things we did. Laughter makes me sad. It's a long, long time to be alone. To be alone. Do you remember asking me, won't you stay a while? When I said forever, it made you smile. I look for that smile on every face I see. But smiles don't mean a thing if they're not for me. Love means more than life to me. I love to have you back. Stop and laugh at things we did. The laughter makes me sad. It's a long, long time to be alone. To be alone. To be alone. Be alone.
Nice. Love it. Love it.
Don't you say, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That's fun.
Let me give a commercial break here. I hate to say this because I'm really enjoying your company, and I'm sure our audience is enjoying this. This is a gas.
Takes two to tango, baby.
Yeah, but we got to take a break.
Wait, I'm talking.
We got to take a break for our commercial supporters. Did you know that if you eat a dinner, if you go out to Dockers North, you've been to Dockers North? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I think I've been there. You got a microphone for my stomach? Okay.
They have a wonderful pizza on Wednesdays, and if you watch our commercial, we have a little girl there who talks about Dockers North, and then she throws the pizza right on my head. So what do you do? And it looks like I ate that piece of pizza, but I didn't eat that piece.
Okay.
People ask me, "What's the is there a 5-second rule on pizza on your forehead?" You know. I thought,
5 second rule. That's funny. On a forehead. That's funny.
so we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Won't you have a beverage with me?
Would you like to hear my new song?
I would love to hear your new song.
My favorite restaurant has a first name. It's Dockers. My favorite restaurant has a second name. It's North. Oh, I love to eat here every day. And if you ask me, I will say Dockers. North is the best.
Beverage with me.
Sorry, Grandpa.
I could sit here for hours every day. I'd write 1,000 words and throw them all away.
We're back, and I'm so happy that you all returned with us to spend a little bit more time with Ronnie tonight, because he is a fun guy, very fun guy to hang out with.
Fun guy. That's a mushroom. You've been a fun person.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you.
Good to be seen. Dolores behind the cameras, everybody. Hear that crowd?
I hear it. I hear it.
One more song. All right, let's do one. This is another song I had the opportunity to write. Have you heard me say, baby, I love you. Every word is true. I could never lie to you, my love. I could never lie to you. And did you mean every kiss you gave? Because I meant mine. You mean more to me than all the world. I love you till the end of time. Baby, let me see you smile, the one you used to say for me. We'll love one another. That's how our lives should be. Have you heard me say, living's not easy, thinking every moment of you. You made me forget all my other love. I could never lie to you. I could never lie to you.
Beautiful. Yes, I do remember that song. Beautiful. We're going to wrap it up. I want to thank
Wrap it up, baby.
I want to thank Ronnie Rice so very much for coming to the In a Nutshell TV show today. You were
Thanks for
fantastic.
letting me in.
Hey, we love your music. You're a fun guy to hang out with.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I
that
had a
was
good
fun.
time. Thanks for being so nice.
Oh,
and
our
that.
pleasure.
And,
Absolutely.
Hey,
It was a gas.
shop steak.
There you go. I also want to thank
Pizza for everyone.
There you go. I want to thank our sponsors, including the Dick Biondi movie, Oracle Home Health, and Dockers North Restaurant and Lounge. And don't forget, if you go to Dockers North, mention In a Nutshell TV show, and they knock 10% off your bill. I also want to thank my wonderful wife, Delores, without whom, and her brilliance, and not only behind the camera, but in so many ways contributing to the content of this show.
Oh, that's nice of you to do.
Oh, yeah, listen, without her, there wouldn't be a show. I'm not kidding. I want to thank our audience for tuning in today and for listening. Please tell your friends and neighbors about us and tell them to tune in each week to the In a Nutshell TV show. Visit our Facebook page, which is simply called the In a Nutshell TV show. If you go there, you'll see our little blurbs about upcoming shows, upcoming guests. Delores always prepares a little video of their, presentation so that people can see what the group is like. And
Okay, that's nice.
we've had some wonderful.
It's
we've
nice to do this.
We've been lucky as heck. We also have a website which is constantly being updated and upgraded at www.inanutshelltvshow.com. And if you would like to submit your music, if you're a singer, if you're a musician, if you're part of a band,
Did you say if you're a senior?
that too, if you're a senior, and you want to submit your music for consideration to us, visit our website and you'll find a place there where you can just send it right through. But our email address for this purpose is music@inanutshelltvshow.com. You can send us any kind of musical or a link or a video, so on and so forth. So thank you again. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Thank you again, Ronnie Rice, for
Thank
coming
you
on our
again.
show.
Hang on.
I don't want you to lose your pick. There you go. Nice
Thanks
to see you
again.
again.
Thanks, everybody.
Next week on In a Nutshell.
I understand you were playing with some kind of super groups like Cheap Trick.
We've worked with them and opened up for a lot of the big.
This episode of In a Nutshell was brought to you by Dockers North Restaurant and Lounge.
Won't you have You got me dreaming. You got me beaming. Walking on a tightrope weaving. First time in a long time, and I love the feeling. Run away on a freight train. Dancing in a warm rain. Washing down with a love that I can believe in. Well, I miss my glory days by a decade or more. You came into my life and blew off the door.